Hi, here we are. We're at the top of the hour, midday here in my time, noon, and I am blessed to have to my side here Nomanono Isaacs from South Africa originally, now living in the United Kingdom. And she has a recipe for happiness that she's going to share with us. And we're also kicking it off like we do because every party needs to have some music. So we're really acknowledging, what is the artist's name? Yes. So we're acknowledging that she is the one that created this music that inspires Nomanono. So have a listen.
Dream your sweet dreams till your soul is released. Know you are loved.
I am relaxed and ready to turn it over to you. So here is my opening question. Growing up in South Africa with apartheid, I expect there's an experience you'd like to share that you needed to transform in order to discover the recipe for happiness.
Yes. Growing up in South Africa under apartheid at that time, at the height of apartheid, I became a very, very angry young woman. Honestly, I became very angry, resentful, and hated. And the resentment, the anger, and the hate that I felt was brought on by an incident that happened to my mother. She was two young white boys set an accusation talk onto her as she was walking from work going home. And as she screamed, they started laughing at her and calling her kafir, which is a derogatory word used by whites in South Africa at the time for anybody who was black. Anyway, when my mother came home and with these bruises from the dog attack, I then asked her because she then said the father of the boys came and took the dog away and then I said to her, I asked her if the father had actually apologized to her for what had happened. And she said no. So that was the beginning of the anger, the resentment, and the hatred, because what happened at that moment, I ended up hating everyone who was a white South African, everyone who was Africa at that moment, because of what had happened to my mother. And it was just like insanity had taken over because of the anger. I was consumed by anger because how dare somebody set an accusation dog onto, how dare somebody does this and laugh at my mother, this precious woman who's brought me in this world, because to me, my mother was the best, and she is the best. I think everybody's mother is the best to them. They don't want anything to happen to your mother.
Right.
At that point, So I was consumed with anger.
Mhm.
But the person who actually then came to my rescue, time I wasn't even sure it was a rescue. I thought it was madness. She realized I've become so consumed with anger, and she kept saying to me, "Please forgive them, my daughter. Please forgive them." I thought she was mad.
Because he knows what you know now, right? But at the time, yes, you thought she was mad because she had been so hurt, right? And yeah,
But the thing is, she had this deep love. She had reached to her love within herself, and and really forgave what happened to her, and didn't want me to then go the wrong path of killing myself, because anger and resentment and hatred, basically at that stage the way I was, I could have really ended up really didn't. So my mother was really rescuing me,
yeah.
but I didn't hear her at the time. So it was like 2 years later, I had to flee South Africa. I escaped, and then I went to Swaziland, and in Swaziland, I that's what I had trained as a primary school teacher and qualified in South Africa. And so I then got a teaching job in Swaziland, a primary school teaching job. And the subjects that I liked most were music and arithmetic. Okay, I was teaching all the subjects set in the syllabus, but my favorite subjects were music and arithmetic.
Right.
And I was teaching the children to sing. We sing in a cappella. There were no musical instruments. Only the instruments are the voices. So I enjoyed doing that, training the children to sing, and then conducting the choirs, and actually bringing trophies to the school. During the time I was teaching the children to sing, I kept thinking of my mother, because my mother was such a beautiful singer. When we were growing up, my mother made up songs, made up stories, lullabies. And we're going to see if she will tell us amazing stories. She had created them herself, and the songs that she sang, beautiful voice. It's not because she's my mother, so I'm saying that, but she really genuinely did have a really beautiful soprano voice. And at the same time, the village where I grew up, it was a small village, remote village, but the community were together, working together, helping, singing. There was just so much music. So each time I was in front of the children, I was just hearing my mother's voice. I was so happy. And then during that time, then there was just a day when I thought, I was thinking of my mother every day. Every day, there was no single day that I didn't think of my mother. And the music and the villagers singing and all, and then it just occurred to me that, oh, that hatred, and resentment, and that I had, and hating everyone who was white in South Africa. I don't hate anybody in South Africa. I don't hate I hated the system, but it's beyond my control. It's beyond everybody's control, because not everybody is in the government. So I didn't have that hatred I had and resentment. And then I started thinking, I had these thoughts, wow, my mother's voice had, please forgive them. And I thought, wow, I didn't even really make a conscious effort to say, today I'm going to get up and forgive and work at forgiving. It just happened. The universe just like brought it together through that. And that was the realization that I had actually forgiven this through that singing, and through working with children, and also remembering what my mother was, because music, each time I was in front, I was remembering my mom. She was there with me in front of all children. Energetically she was, because I was linking to her. And so that was it. And then also the realization that when you are happy and you are joyful, you cannot be angry, and you cannot resent anybody, you can't hate anybody when you are filled with joy, love, and happiness. You really can't. Those two don't sit together. love and anger and resentment. No, they don't.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, I guess you were at your mother's love, right? That you were thinking of her. You were joyfully singing. I mean, that anger just had to go find another place to live.
Yes, exactly.
And I think science has, has proven now that love and joy are a much higher vibration, and that energy sort of that vibration just transmits the heavier, denser energy. So that's why it only takes a few of us to be joyful about healing from the inside out, and we're sending this ripple effect out.
And I was, during that time, I was really, really happy just going to class and teaching the children, because the thing that was driving me is the music, is the singing. Zaria.
Zaria has joined us. Yes, she's there. Hi.
Yeah, she said, "Yay, love ripple." Yes.
You realized that all this anger went. So did you ever go back to South Africa after you were in Swaziland, or did you just move from Swaziland to the United Kingdom?
No, my journey to going back South Africa, it took me 26 years. I was in April. Yeah, waving your hands. Yes, my hands show you can see me. Ha 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 ha. Bless you. So basically, I couldn't go back to South Africa at that time from Swaziland. Everything was just, I couldn't really go back to South Africa. It took me 26 years in exile to be able to go visit my mama, only because, oh, there's Anna. I'm here too. Thank you, Anna. Only because they had, during the talks between the ANC for Mandela to come out of prison,
yes,
they were negotiating, and in 1992 they agreed that they were going to give amnesty to everyone who had left South Africa for political reasons. Mm-hmm. So in 1992 they declared the amnesty. And that's the only thing that helped me to be able to go to South Africa. And it was just so wonderful after 26 years to be able to see my, because I couldn't really see my mother. I couldn't even communicate with my mother that much. But the good thing is, there were times when, this is when I was in the UK then, when I tried to write to South Africa. And then the letters were not that frequent, because when they came back by the special branch in South Africa, the security section in South Africa, and they would come back, I would receive a letter with all the letters blocked in black ink, and some of them would sort of come out and then they would stamp it and say censored, yeah, and they still forward it to me. And then, so sometimes I couldn't make any sense, but you know what? There was this one, and sometimes the universe is just amazing. There was this letter that came through the censor, stamp censored. They had missed the line where my mother said, however much you miss me, please do not come to visit, because we will not see you. You will be taken to prison. So I thought myself, and that letter came at the time when I had actually prepared myself. I'd got the money, saved the money, every time prepared everything. I'm going to go to South, because I had the British passport then. But at the same time, during that time, when I had it was all sort of like, I decided I'm going to write to see the Home Office here in the UK. I did. And then I thought, let me write to the Home Office to see if I can go back to South Africa. The Home Office replied, they said, no, you cannot go back to South Africa, because this is where you were born. Even though you got a British citizenship, you can't, because when they arrest you, we are helpless. We can't help you, basically.
So
So
hold on. I just have to interject here because I've missed a point. So you left South Africa and went to Swaziland. You said you fled, right? So
yes.
what was the premise? Like, I know in apartheid you were totally treated separately. So once you fled, you had no citizenship, so you couldn't come back. Like, people need to you need to explain this one, because now we're going, well, why go back? For the rest of us, we're going, well, if you were born there, you should just be able to go back. And the other part that
remember, Jacqueline, in South Africa during the apartheid, the non-whites, especially the black people, were not citizens of South Africa, even though they were born in South Africa. They didn't have a citizenship of South Africa.
Oh, see, that was a crucial ingredient to the story. So apartheid said you don't really belong here. So when you grew up,
we didn't have any rights. We didn't have any rights to vote whatsoever. If you remember, the first vote that happened after the first, when Mandela also voted for the first time. No blacks were voting. It's only white people who were citizens of South Africa and could vote.
See, I knew that you had no rights to vote, and I knew what what was going on because I was there in 1991. So I knew that part, but I never, ever, this is the first time I got that you had no citizenship. So when you left, there was no way you could go back. I understand that now. So you had to wait until you got asylum, basically amnesty, and then you were allowed to return to the country. So, and you still weren't angry with the fact that you couldn't see your mother for 26 years?
No, for 26 years, I didn't. All I did, I just missed my mama, and and each time I missed her, I put down notes at the times when I remembered her and the things that we did, what we did. I just started right. That's why I ended up writing my book, Escaping Apartheid: A Letter to My Mother. Because it was based on that, but it took a long time because I didn't really publish the book until when I stopped working in 2011, 12, 13, that sort of thing. So I thought, I'm going to put those notes together. But really was never a plan to publish a book or anything like that. It's because I missed her all those 26 years. But when they created the amnesty, they really helped a lot of us to be able to then go visit our families.
Yes.
So I'm really thankful for that.
That must have been a beautiful reunion.
So the anger, actually, for me, it was more than the anger. It was the sadness of missing my family and my brothers. Because I remember the last time I saw my brothers, the two brothers coming after me, they were younger brothers. One was and the other one was 9, and I went to the place we lived in a slum. I went to that place with this special branch, the police, because at the time, anyway, I had been arrested. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the thing that always bothered me all these years is that day they asked me for a penny each, or less than a penny, because it was a cent, so that they could buy sweets, and I didn't have any money to give them to buy sweets. And that's the thing that over the years just kept, each time I remembered my mother, I remembered my brothers at that age. And then they were grown-up men, but with me in my mind, right, I still had the images of 9 and 12-year-olds. And with my mom, because she was 43 years old when I left, I had an image of a 43-year-old woman all those years.
So now you can just exude your happiness. So how did you start to, okay, so we know how you got joyful and happy because of music, and you transformed that anger. Now, as you help others with being happy and recognizing you can either be happy or you can be angry. What is the recipe?
Basically, it's a compilation of few tools which have helped me over the years. The thing that they still help me even now. I still go back and think about these things, because it's things that help everybody really. It's how I am with my feelings and my thoughts. Am I dwelling on something that is negative and getting me going down emotionally, or I choose? Because happiness, joy, and all of that, and it is a choice. Okay, someone can also say, on the same side, you can say anger is also a choice. But looking back at that time and the age I was when what happened with my mom just came spontaneous. I didn't have a chance to think that am I going to be resentful here or angry or whatever. But okay, now with the benefit of hindsight or the time passing on, I realize that really, you know what? Everything that has happened in my life has helped me to really get back to who I am, because I am a resentful person. I'm not I'm not a person. No. I'm a person that's really is for people, loving people and caring for people. Really, I'm that person. So all of those situations, every situation helps us to expand.
Yes, absolutely. And just your sharing here has helping people expand, because what you've gone through, most people wouldn't even, just like I didn't recognize about the citizenship. So the story that you share touches people in a different way to understand that we all have a mess, in a sense, a mess or something to go through, and then we have a message to deliver. And your message is about being happy, right? And being all that you felt like when you were growing up as a child. You were happy in the village before.
Yes, I was, and I still appreciate those moments. And also with the recipe for happiness, it also touches on happy. One of the tools is appreciation and being thankful, because every moment we have in this life at this moment, it's a gift. We do not know what the next moment is, the next hour is going to be for us. So being thankful and appreciating really something that is really amazing. It's really wonderful, and I appreciate my mom for whatever she went through to help me. So and everybody I met along the, because I've met so many people here in the UK, in Africa, wonderful people. And that's when the situation that was happening in South Africa at the time, for me it was the whole world, because I didn't know any other part of the world. And then I realized that no, people are really nice. People are really, really nice. Never mind sometimes what we hear happening in these bits that we hear from the media about different things that are happening. The majority of people in this world are really loving people who are caring and generous and kind.
Yes.
And I'm so blessed and thankful for that.
Yes. Now, did you?
Because they all add to my happiness.
It's part of your recipe. You wouldn't.
Yeah, they all add to my happiness.
So, for a person that is at this point in time feeling unhappy, maybe they're feeling a little anger or they're stressed, what would be a tool that you would give them to focus on, suggest for them to do today?
Okay, the immediate tool I would really give somebody who's feeling stressed or feeling angry is to basically just breathe. Deep breathing, slow, deep breathing. Because what we do not and what we don't appreciate, which is really so obvious, that breath is the love from the Creator, from the universe. So we have love which is so free in the breath, and it really helps us to really breathe in deeply and slowly and breathe out. And just keep breathing. And also just think of something that you appreciate, or something that has happened in your life other than this situation that is making you angry at this moment. What is it? Was there a moment in your life where you appreciated something? How did it make you feel? Something that made you feel happy. Instead of dwelling on the anger, the reasons for the anger, it's that way you are moving away from the anger. You're finding, it's like pivoting, really, moving away and finding a new situation that's going to help you.
So being present to your breath and thinking happy thoughts.
Yes. And also knowing that all the time you are loved, because this air that we all get so freely, it is love from the universe, from the creator, from God, Allah, source, or whatever we call it.
Yes, absolutely.
And it keeps us alive. It keeps us talking. If I wasn't able to breathe right now and you are unable to breathe, there won't be this show.
Might be able to connect technology, but we would be yeah.
Exactly. So the breathing, the air is very, very important. But what we do most of the times with breathing, we tend to breathe very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't really help us. It just makes that when I'm angry, I get more and more angry. But if I slow my breathing and slow it down, I just like, it really changes everything.
So is it like, do you do it on a count of 10 or 5, or is there a recommended count to?
Okay, some people, with me, I do counts of 4. Even in the recipe for happiness, I've got a breathing technique. Just start with slow and deep breathing, where it's counting to 4. Take in 4 times and we hold 4 and release 4 times. Some people do 3, some people do 5. It just depends what you feel you resonate with, what you feel good yourself with, because when you're angry, it's going to take a while for you to get to the rhythm of deep slow, but you have to be persistent, and then you'll find your own way, your own count.
So would you like to just lead us in this moment of this inhale 4, hold 4? Is that what you're saying? Exhale, just
okay.
Everybody.
If you take, just close your eyes and breathe in. For a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold the breath for a count of 4 and release. And breathe in again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, 3, 4. So how does that feel for you?
I've gone back to sleep. No. That's what happened the last time, the couple, whatever it was. I was like, I'll just do some breathing, and then it's like, I have a show to do. No.
But again, with you, you've been on the go for. You are amazing. You are so amazing because you look so fresh and so alive, and it's the wonderful energies that are around.
Well, I feel like, just as you talk about oxygen being there, I feel that we really are all vibrational. So as long as I can keep surrendering to this source that gives us life, and stay with the plan, it's all good. So, maybe we'll have to extend it the next time, and we'll do like, no. We could do like a marathon. Everybody do so many hours like a relay and keep it going.
Oh, thank you, Angel Scrolls. She says we both look good. We look great.
So that was wonderful. So where can people get a hold of you, Nomanono?
Okay, it's the website, on the website, which is www.nomanono, which is NOMANONO.com. So that's my website. There are contact details there. Yeah. So you can contact me via my website, nomanono.com.
And if you
the other contact is nomanono@gmail.com. Very easy.
Either or, it's Nomanono.
Yes.
Yes. And it was a real pleasure. You have really transformed from, for a lot of people, they'd say you have great reason to still be angry and resentful. So you are a model, and there's just so many others that have been able to let go of that hatred and be happy. So let us all just be able to shine our light like you're shining now. And we will see the world being peaceful and loving and kind everywhere, because it'll be us as the individuals that'll be changing the way the government and the rest of the world works.
Exactly. We are all, each and every one of us, are contributing to the final peaceful Earth planet.
We are each a note in the grand symphony that is playing the melodies of our heart. That was
yes, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to doing this again.
Thank you. Bless you. Thanks.
Mwah. Bye.